Yes, guys, I hope you're good. Welcome to the Coolest Chels podcast along with Jerry Z. So, today's topic will be about Chelsea Football Club recruitment strategy. So, first, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, turn on the notification bell, share the channel to everyone that you know. So, Jerry Z, my first question to you: what do you think about Chelsea Football Club recruitment strategy?
Yes, so it's very interesting, and a lot of people just speculate. They don't do their research and understand. So, the first of all, what Chelsea recruit the board and the management and the recruiters, what they have applied is a data-driven model, which they use heavily, which is now being used for the last almost a decade in sports. Liverpool is also doing the same, right? And many other clubs, but Liverpool is heavily involved, and now Chelsea, in the top clubs in England. This model is basically, a lot of people criticize, a lot of fans criticize, and I personally disagree. Maybe because my field is also have to do a lot with data analytics and sports analytics. So what they're doing is, which is a need for their day. People say that we need to just see the game, feel the player, see from our eyes, see what's going on in the pitch, identify the player based on our ability as a recruits or a manager, or talent identification merit, you know, to go in the training field, to go in different continents and then pick up the player, rather than just sit at home on your laptop and using data. But the thing is, if you like or dislike, this is how it is, and this is how the things will be. This is still in the initial stage, and it will go on very fast now. I think in the next 5 to 7 years, everything will be heavily into data analytics, into recruitment. So to answer, first of all, everyone knows that the recruitment model is based on the youth, which is what they use in the US based sporting project, and which has been done mostly in US, in other parts in Asia, not so much in English Premier League in UK. But I I think, as a man who believes in innovation and change, I welcome that, right? And what it does is basically pick the top talent, young talent from all over the Europe, from all over, from South America and other parts, and recruit them. What it is doing is getting the young talent at a price that they have used to amortize over 7 years, right? So if we are playing of the fee 100 million, 80 million, this has been divided over 7 years. So is their salary, which is a very, I would say, great tactical decision. And it is great because we have done so many recruitments in the last window, summer, winter, and this summer. We have almost like got so many players. Now we have to add some of the players. So what it does is, because of the new rule that the Premier League have agreed, now from January onwards, it is maximum of 5 years. So Chelsea have benefited from the recruitment that they have done. It has given them a lot of privilege and a great advantage in the sense that they have used this platform legally to uh, get the players and also abide by financial fair play. And now the strategy, or the philosophy behind this is project is to get the young group core of players who are already great players, like Enzo Fernandez, young player of the year, Caicedo, who did excellent job with Brighton, and all these talents based on data driven model, which I will discuss in a bit. And and to integrate them, that over the next 2 3 years, and on a long term basis, it will take 2 years, 3 years in their opinion, and the team will every year will challenge for Premier League, Champions League title in the next 5, 10, 15 years. So this is the philosophy. It is very good on the merit, but the fans, because they're so used to the Roman Abramovich model, it's difficult for them to understand. We don't have to go in other details because we're talking just about the model right now, about the recruitment. Of course, like injuries and other things didn't help. We could have been in a better position right now. So what they're doing, people just look into this data, or which is shared on the sporting websites, creating chances, or just the some other key metrics that we all see when we are discussing or analyzing the game. But this is just for the fans or for people to understand from the outside. But what they are doing is something different. Just to give an overview, an idea, they use two sources of data when they are looking for players, looking for performances. So right, they have two sources of data. One is for every pass, every shot, ball carry, clearance, interception, red cards, yellow cards. This is one of the source that they get, right? And this has to do with the player's performance and their metrics, which they identify, right? And what they do is, because what we see with the chances created, the passes, interception in the final third, that is fine, but they are not doing that. This is just the tip of the iceberg. So for example, just to give an idea, for instance, for a player of ball positioning or speed throughout the game, they break it 25 frames per second, and then you get 25 observation for the ball and for each player, which amounts to roughly 3 million rows per game. So though they really go and analyze the data for game, 10 game, 20 game, compare it with the other games, and they try to make a rational or a data driven solution, not just to imagine something. They want to see, is there a trend into that, right? And then what they do is, after doing all these different kind of you can say data driven analysis, they either have a manager ask him, like, what is the role, which data you need to prioritize, because we can always look in many data, but the manager has a way to play. So which what should we see in the player, right? So the Chelsea data team uses two main sources: event data, which is very relevant action taken in a game, and tracking data, which provides information about players and ball positioning. Chelsea data team chooses long-term projects based on what result is regularly used and which can depict, and to ensure that the project is both effective and fully functional. So they use all of that. They have a team of 1,713 people as of today. I don't know if it's changed this week or not, of data driven specialists who work on the data to identify trend and come up with a conclusion which will give, in a statistical language, 80 to 85% success realistically, and then they go abide that. That is why they're backing Pochettino. That is why they're backing the project. People are not identifying it because layman is behind the curve, but what they are doing is very relevant, and this is all what will be done by most of the teams moving forward.
So, do you think that we should add experienced players into this strategy?
uh, Experienced players can come, but because they have a very set and defined methodology, they can come, but they cannot uh, change the wage cap. For instance, if the wage cap is defined, and this is a certain wage cap, and they give, let's say, Osimhen or any XYZ something different, the issue will be along the lines that for all the players of Enzo's and Caicedo's and Nkunku's and XYZ, we have a certain structure at place. Now, with so many recruitments, 15, 20 players already bought, now with another player you are going and changing the system, it will, they can, but what it will do is that Enzo's and Caicedo's of the world will have a problem with that. They will ask for a raise or ask for leave. So these ambiguities, which are non-technical, would be created. They might do because they are a little bit struggling on the table right now. The fans are expecting quick results, but could be an exception, so other players can understand. But this will not be a regular thing. They can, of course, go for experience. Experience doesn't mean you have to be 26 or 28. It could be 23 years old as well. So I see them sticking with this, with the same model, because this is what they have implemented. So they don't want to change, and changing that will need to change many things and will cause a distress and an issue in the dressing room.
So another thing, Jerry, do you think in order to make this recruitment more solid, more stronger, should we hire a sporting director that can get along with Mauricio Pochettino, for example. He used to work with Paul Mitchell at Southampton, also in Spurs. Then he used to work with Oscar Plano, who worked with him at Real Sociedad. Then Plano went to Barcelona. Now at the moment he's working at Real Betis. So do you think that will work?
The idea is good. Personally, I like the idea, but again, we have to understand what they have done. They have just recruited a year back the sporting directors, right? And which are heavily involved in this project. Until and unless in the next 2, 3 years, results will not follow the way they have analyzed, anticipated, the stakeholders' demands are not met, they will not change anything because they will, in a way, give more authority to Pochettino, which is not in the plan. They are going with a hierarchical structure. Sporting director sits above Mauricio Pochettino. This could change in the future, maybe depending on the results. But again, Pochettino is very new again in the Chelsea. His Chelsea career right now is in initial stage, and he needs to produce the results as well. So it all looks good from the outside, but professionally speaking, if we sit and analyze, and we want to sit in the board meeting and want to make this move, then the question will come that at why should we change? Of course, people can have different opinions. The sporting directors are like this, they haven't done this anything, but to be very honest, they have done everything that the owners asked. Many people I've seen in other podcasts, in other places in social media, people say, it's not owner, it's totally sporting directors what they are doing. Yes, sporting director are doing things that is fall under their job description, but that is assigned to them by the owners. You got the point. The owners have recruited the sporting directors based on an interview, based on the merit which they see after discussing with them. If we get you as a sporting directors for Chelsea Football Club, we will go with this model. We have this domain, we have this principle, we have this strategy. You will have to work around that, which they have abided. And then they are involved since January and now in summer. The recruitments on the paper that we have done are good. No one can deny that. To reap the fruits, they have to see before they change. Even if we think it will make sense for Pochettino to work with a sporting director that he knows, it will not work because it's not realistic. The sporting directors have authority. They have two transfer windows so far. They are abiding by the owner's philosophy. So I don't see this happening at all, to be very honest.
Next one. Do you think uh, we should stop buying these potential talents for now and focus more into our first team?
As I said, that there is, of course, with any model, always for let's say, there is always a situation, when you have in mind that if certain thing is not working, there is a space, there is always a room for something different. But again, they cannot change too much, as you are seeing. And throughout the news in January transfer window, we can see the all the players that are linked are of same profile, under 21, under 19, you know so they will not change anything. But because right now we are 10th, half of the season is left, maybe a striker or maybe a right back, because Reece James is unfit, depends, maybe a midfielder, they might go for a certain profile who will have more experience. But more or less, his wage structure, or the amount of they will pay over the 5 years should meet the financial fair play or the model. So personally, many people are thinking that what they have done is a thing of the past, but I think this is something that will remain here for the next many years to come, until and unless they think the project is not making sense. Because you should understand the investment that they have made in the platform, or the model that is at place is heavily invested on that. Changing few things will change a lot of dimensions. The As I said, all the cap salary caps, paying through amortization over the 7 years. Of course, this won't be done because 5 year now it's a 5 year structure to pay and close the deal over the next 5 years. But the thing is, the overall structure would remain the same because if you have applied this philosophy, if you have applied this data driven solution, or if you have this structure with financial caps, how could you change that, right? And that early, I would say, that would mean that they are not confident in their plan. This plan would naturally take 2 3 years at the least to begin. We can always ignore the first year because they were involved themselves. They didn't have sporting directors to make the decision. Many decisions were not professional. But we can start from this June July, last June July, last 5 6 months ago. So I think the project started from then. Again, injuries didn't help, so many injuries. That's why we are 10th. So they are optimistic. They really believe in the project. They are confident in the project. They think they have quality players who will improve. They know that Nkunku, Lavia of this world have not come. Nkunku just made his debut. They understand this thing. They are not emotional. They are not taking decision or getting worried about fans on Twitter, for example. They really believe in that. And I think they're really backing Pochettino based on the facts that we have mentioned. They really think he is the manager for the future. Of course, they will assess him at the end of the season. People think his job is in question. I don't think so. They will assess him at the end of the season. And I think there is definitely a big positive side in this project. Fans need to understand that this is done with a lot of professional planning, modeling, and implementation, and things will improve definitely. It's mostly to do with injuries because I have repeated throughout. It's the injuries that is not helping the result. It's not a problem with the model. Of course, we can always say that recruiting maybe Jackson or some other players is a questionable question mark. They could have done better. But overall, the good thing is they know what they're doing. We don't need an owner who don't know anything or who don't know what they're doing. Sometimes they're doing this, sometimes moving to the right, sometimes they are doing let's do this, the other month they are doing something different. That is that is a dangerous thing. That is something that will disturb me or make me lose sleep at night. That what kind of owners we have. They are going with a very professional, a streamlined plan. And you will see in the future that this will work. It will work magic.
Last question, Jerry. What do you think about the multi-club model?
Yeah, again, a lot of people have issues with that. We need to understand, look, the football dynamics, business, they are ever changing landscape. Some people think what is done in 70s, 80s the uh, is the model we should always follow. No, in any business, in any domain, things change, and now in the technological landscape, things are changing more than ever before. You have to stay ahead of the curve. People seeing them buying different clubs, having multimodal uh, structure is just to make money. Of course, when you're owning a club, investing so heavily, and then also investing so much in the transfer market, they are doing their job, so they have to cover all of that. It doesn't mean that they don't want to win the title. How can the fans say they don't want to win the title? If they don't want to win the title, they won't spend a British record fee last January for Enzo Fernandez, and they would not have paid for Moses Caicedo another British record fee in England so far. So this year alone in 2023, they came up, or they made two record signings never to be found in English football before. So of course they are serious. They want to do it. And coming back to the model, Manchester City is doing that. Other clubs are doing that. It's a good opportunity, of course, to spread the players. The concept is simple: to have different clubs, different continents, where you can recruit, sell, loan, and use those caps. For example, it's perfect to loan the players. You think this Chelsea is the our main club. This is our bread and butter. This is the project. We've sold it to Strasbourg. This is another club in France, right? and you can develop them, right? If they're good enough, they can always come back if it is required. If not, you can sell them. Who will get the money at the end? Of course the owner, but also Chelsea bank account for recruitment will have the money, not only the owners. The example could be taken of with all due respect, of Daniel Levy. Daniel Levy is getting the cash, right? Tottenham is one of the most profitable clubs, if someone don't know, in England right now, but he's not spending. The worry should be that the owners are not spending. They are doing this model of multi-club, and making money, selling merchandise, investing in different clubs, in different TV deals. Yes, but at the same time they're investing back. As long as they're investing back, what's the issue? The issue is like Daniel Levy or with Glazers, which all I think they also spend, but Manchester United fans do have a lot of complaint that they don't spend. Maybe in the last few 1 or 2 years, but generally they have spent a lot. But the thing is, if the Chelsea owners are always looking for their team, are always fixing these issues, either it's the stadium or the player recruitment or any other issue, then whatever they are doing to make money, or to enhance their business, it's good. It's a great thing, I would say.
Thank you very much, Jerry. Appreciate your time. Guys, please like and subscribe to the channel. That'll be helpful. Also, let us know in the comment section what do you think about today's podcast. What more can Chelsea change or do overall in the next future? So thank you guys. Appreciate you. Up the chairs.